everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be giving a little bit of a language learning update, what I'm currently doing to learn French. I'm also going to answer a question I received about advice and tips I have for people just beginning to learn French, and at the end of the video I'm going to talk a bit about something that I might be doing, something a bit special I might be doing when I hit 10,000 subscribers, which is now getting very close. So just for anyone who is new, who hasn't seen my channel before, I am obviously a native English speaker living in England, and I have been learning French for about, I don't know, 3.5 years now, primarily self-taught, and I have a lot of videos on my channel showing all the different bits of my language learning journey, and I also have videos in French with French and English subtitles, and all of that will be linked in the description below, all the playlists and things like that. So let's get on to today's video, where I'm going to just give you an update of what I'm currently doing to learn French. As many of you know, I don't typically like the traditional ways of learning French. I don't tend to enjoy going to language classes. I don't like language tutors. I hate grammar books. I'm very, I have a short attention span. I find a lot of stuff boring. So I tend to be a bit unique with the ideas I choose to do. At the moment, I'm actually doing, no. As a couple of you may know, or I don't know how many of you know, I have just started a new job. And so the amount of available free time I had to study French has been cut quite short. But I've actually found that I've managed to learn a lot more now that I have less time, which is interesting idea, but basically I have to take the bus to and from work, and so I'm sort of forced where I have maybe an hour or an hour and a half of time every day where I'm kind of on the bus with nothing to do, and I found that this is a really great time to do my Babbel review. So if you don't know what that is, I learned French initially on Babbel. I did all the Babbel courses and I got up to level B1 on that, and I have lots of videos about that, so go and look at them if you have questions about Babbel. And what happens is everything that you learn while you're on Babbel goes into this kind of review area of Babbel, where it's kind of flashcards, and it helps you kind of memorize the things that you did in the lessons. And I'm a big fan of this, because what's really great is that even if you're no longer paying for your Babbel subscription, you continue to have access to everything you learned on Babbel, and you can even do all the flashcards, etc. So I find it's really great, because often I have zero motivation to learn any French, and then one day I'm just ooh, I should do my Babbel review. And if I had to then go and pay for a new subscription, I might not do it. But because I can just go on and it's free, I tend to do that a lot more, just kind of go on as I feel like it to try and review some of my 3,000 vocabulary words that need reviewing. So yeah, what I've been doing on the bus is I've just been going through everything that I learned when I was doing Babbel. This is now a couple years ago. I've got something like 2,000 items left, so I foresee it's going to take me a long time to get through all of them. But I find it's really useful, because I feel like getting the bus and stuff is such a waste of time. It's but I'm forced to sit there, and I could just sit there and doze out the window, or I could sit there and do my Babbel review. So that's primarily what I'm doing to learn French. I know it's not super active, but this sort of goes on to my tips for beginners. I have found in the time that I have been learning French, which is now, as I said, 3 years, something like that, I don't know how long, that the most important thing has been consistency, and just continually sticking with it and finding ways to keep French in your life even when you don't really have time for it. So I know a lot of people, when they start learning a language, they want to look on YouTube, best way to learn French, or best way to learn German, or quickest way, or easiest way, or cheapest way, or learn French at home on the internet for free without talking to anyone and be fluent in 2 months. It's not going to happen. And don't worry, I was exactly the same. I thought there was this kind of magic key or a magic strategy to learn languages. And for some people, they do find a specific routine or particular materials that work really well for them. But a lot a lot of it is you trying out different stuff, finding what works for you, finding what you enjoy, finding what fits into your routine, and most importantly, finding things, no matter how small, that you can continually do for like literally years. So what I have been able to do is to keep up. I've been making YouTube videos as much as I can in French. I've been doing the Babbel review when I feel like it, and I've been listening to French music. And I know those things are not enough to get someone fluent, but I know that I am further along in French than I would be if I didn't have those small things that I was doing at least a couple days a week. Not the YouTube videos. I know I've not been so good on YouTube recently, but it's like with my new job, I'm so like, it's completely new what I'm doing. I'm doing like a lot of medical stuff, and it's like serious medical stuff, and so I'm quite stressed when I get home. I don't want to be like subtitling for like 12 hours a video, so subtitling a video for 12 hours, sorry, that's another thing, like, because I live with a French speaker, I speak basically like French English. It's really odd. Anyway, that wasn't relevant. So back to kind of tips for beginners. Another key thing is just make sure that you're using high quality resources. If you're using something that like someone's just written on the internet and you're not really sure, or you're just asking friends or whatever, the last thing you want to do is have to relearn things that you learned that were wrong. So just make sure you have high quality resources. Make sure there are at least some things that you can do most days. If you have made like a very intense schedule of learning, make sure that if for whatever reason you can't do the 5 hours you had planned, that you have like a contingency plan of, if I can't do the 5 hours, I'm going to watch the news for 5 minutes, and at least you've done 5 minutes and not nothing. So yeah, high quality resources, consistency with contingency planning. If you do have the goal of being fluent, it is a good idea to try to have a balance of the reading, writing, speaking and listening. But for example, when I learned French, I made a video about this. What did I call it? Like all my experiences speaking in French or something. It is possible to get quite far without speaking to anyone if you are learning on your own, or you're very shy, or you don't have the money to pay a tutor or whatever. You can get quite far without speaking to people, but there will be a point where you need to start having conversations with natives, just because it's spontaneous, you can't really plan what they're going to say, and there's the added sort of stress on you to think of things in the moment. So and also I think maybe body language is an interesting part of it as well. That would be something interesting to comment if you have been learning languages. Like, do you feel like body language comes in at all when you're learning language? Is there certain like gestures you need to learn? I don't know, I just feel something interesting there. I don't know. So yeah, that's another aspect, is try to, if you are aiming to be fluent, try to have a mix of them. You cannot get fluent by sitting in a room on your own and never talking to anyone. Equally, if possible, listen to as much native speaker material as you can. I know that a lot of people are big fans of Duolingo, but if I'm correct, I mean, correct me if I'm not correct, but Duolingo doesn't have like a native speaker recorded. It's like a kind of like computer generated. I'm not saying don't use Duolingo. If it works for you, then you should do it. If something works for you, do it. That's the second one. That's another point. Oh, as you can tell, my brain is fried. It's a Sunday, and yeah. So yeah, if something works for you, do it. Like if you're like me and you tell yourself, oh, I'm learning French by listening to music. If it works for you, do it. I'm learning French by making YouTube videos. Do it. The most important thing is do something. Doing something is better than nothing. So yeah, try to listen to as much native stuff when you're focusing on your listening. So yeah, the other thing is, if you're learning French for a particular reason, so it's for an exam, or it's for work, or it's for personal life, or it's for travel, try to make it as relevant to your goals as possible. I did make a video about how to make goals that will be linked. I'll link it up there somewhere. It's how to make SMART goals or whatever. in the beginning, you'll have lots of motivation and you'll be able to get very far and it'll be very fun. And then it will come to a very tricky point where there'll be something that you're stuck on that you can't get past. And you need at that point to feel that what you're doing is really relevant for your goal. If you need French for business reasons and you're learning all the names of the animals and all the names of the colours, you know, you're going to get frustrated. I think just try to learn the things that you need to know, and then the rest will fall, like, you'll be able to learn later on. I mean, I don't know if that's good advice, but the main thing is just keep on doing it, because when you start off, you know, you have to envision you're probably going to be learning this language maybe for 5, 6, 7 years. You know, it takes a long time, and the hardest thing is just continuing, and that's where I am at the moment, just trying to continue to learn. So yeah, I'm doing my Babbel review on the bus. I've given some advice for beginners: use high quality resources, try to do something like frequently, listen to native speakers, try to find a balance. Don't fall into any of these rabbit holes of learn French quick. You know, no, it's not quick. It's not quick. It's not quick. Help. So yeah, and so the final thing. Okay, this video was pretty quick, but you know, it's. I think it's good to make honest videos, because a lot of the videos that you see of people learning French are like, oh yes, well at 9 a.m. I do my I watch the news for an hour and I make notes in a vocab book of all the things I'm going to research later on, and then I have my Skype call with my French pen pal and we talk about French grammar and the history of the French language. Then in the afternoon, I take a trip to Paris. No one's like this. More people are like me, where you kind of don't have time to do anything and you kind of stress that you're going to forget everything that you already know. Yes, I also listen to music all the time. I forgot to say that, but a lot of you already know that. I just listen to French music all the time, and I do have another video in mind regarding French music. I did one pretty recently about my March music favourites. I have another video in mind that I want to do soon, but obviously I need to do the research for it. Hopefully that will be in the next couple of weeks. Okay, the exciting thing that's happening at 10K, well, it might not happen. I have been playing around now for a very long time, playing around with the idea of doing a live stream. And I thought 10K could be a good thing to like push me to do it. Like, you've got 10,000 now. Doesn't that sound like a good idea to do a live stream with the possibility of 10,000 people watching you? I thought it could be something to try out, you know, because my big problem is that I can't get videos up because I don't have time to film them, I don't have time to edit them. Live streaming kind of gets rid of that, doesn't it? So you just sort of do it and then it ends up on the internet. Would you guys be interested if I did a live stream? Cool, if not, no problem. I just want to know. I don't want to be live streaming and just be on my own. So if you would be interested, tell me. What would you want the live stream to be about? Would you just want it to be chatty, like have me like be like, hey, Charlotte from America? Or would you rather it be on a topic? I don't think it's a fantastic idea to try and do the live stream in French, just because there will not be the opportunity to add subtitles, I don't think. I would rather not try to subtitle a live stream that could be very long. So I'd rather not do the live stream in French. And obviously I'm like super nervous. I'm like a real human and I'm too scared to speak a foreign language live on the internet. So I don't want to do it in French. But I will come on at least for 5 minutes and be like, hey, thanks everyone, I'm a YouTuber now. I don't know. No. So yeah, what would you want to be talked about in the live stream, or should it just be incredibly informal? Would you want the live stream to be like 2 hours long, or should it be like literally just 5 minutes? Do you not even care? Yeah, I think that's it. This video was just a dump from my mind. But that's what this YouTube channel is. It's just me sharing my journey. It's a very real journey. Someone did get very upset with me in the comments the other day. You're not a real polyglot. I'm not a polyglot. I hardly even speak French. So no, I'm not a polyglot, I'm not bilingual, I don't speak French fluently, I am not the ideal French learner. You know, ideally you should be motivated by your passion for the French language rather than just, my boyfriend is French and we sometimes go to Paris and I don't like it because I can't talk to anyone. That's my motivation. Yeah, okay. Oh dear. This video is a bit too much like me. Yeah, okay. I think that will do. Oh, 15 minutes. Juicy content. Okay, right, so I'll see you either in the next video, which will be a music video, or not really a music video, a video about music, or it'll be in the live stream of me like, yeah, I've got 10,000 subscribers, which is just crazy. Imagine 10,000 people following you in the street. Horrible. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye. Don't forget to subscribe. 10,000. Yeah, no. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more content about French learning, don't forget to subscribe, and see you all soon. Nobody's watching now. Goodbye.